Alrighty, what is up guys? Welcome back. Evan Aldo here. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and check out the link to BITGET down below. Really good promo going on. You only have to deposit $100. You get $20 back. Also a really good prize pool, really good promo on MEXC and BitGet as well. So check those out if you're interested. I wanted to show you guys first in this video. We're going to get to a macro outlook next, but first in this video, I want to show you guys how I'm practicing with this. This is something I'm learning, this new thing I'm learning, which is CVD, which is, here are the indicators on Coin Analyze. It's a free thing, you don't have to pay for it, you just make an account for free. I don't even think you need to really make an account. Cumulative volume data, you put that in, now we have two of them. Let me get that out of there. Oh wait, no, now I have two of them there. Okay, so then the other one, so I've been mainly looking at these two. You can look at open interest as well. I don't know that as well yet, but I took this paper trade using this paper trade on BitGet. I'm not going to use real money to do this trade just yet because it's a new technique. So what I do a lot of times, and BitGet's really good for this, they give you free fake money, paper money to do these trades with. You can, if you want to do that, my link in the description below. I believe it's completely free. I believe they still do it. It was when I first made this account 6 or 8 months ago. I'd have to double check though. So took this trade, and let me show you. I use this market cipher you still need to use as Confluence here. Really good to use as Confluence. This is the Confluence. Market cipher is the main thing you want to look for. And this is what you look for on the 1 minute, especially for scalp trades. I don't think this would help you with day trades. And I found all this out from Jason Casper. So shout out to Jason Casper for this. He's got a really good tutorial on this that he posted a day or two ago. It probably goes into a little bit more detail as well. I think he's got another course too that talks about this. I haven't gone through that yet, but I think I'm going to pretty soon. So this is a hidden bearish div right here. So price is going up as this is going down. You want to look at kind of on the CVD, cumulative volume data, you want to look for bearish and bullish divs. So this is a bearish div right here. See, this is going down. Also had one here. So let's mark out where this was kind of on our 1 minute chart. And you could probably, a lot of this you could do with very low time frames. This is scalp trading. And for scalp trading, I know you guys see me use hike and ashies a lot. For scalp trading on these lower time frames, I typically use regular candles on these lower time frames, just for scalp trading. For everything else, I mainly stick to hike and ashy candles. So what I looked here, this was where you had the first kind of divergence. So you could see there, that was over here. This is the first divergence. And you just had a red dot, no bearish div. Up here, you had a bearish div plus that CVD divergence. So maybe a lot of people FOMO'd into the longs here. They thought it would go up a little bit higher. And then what happened? It came right back down to our spider line. Very useful. Spider line support and really good support and resistance point. So I took the trade when this confirmed right around here and locked in profits here. I would have done this, almost with the real account, but I wanted to do a practice or two, just on paper trading. You could just really, all you could do for paper trading, really, unless you want to learn an exchange too. I'd recommend doing it like on an exchange, on actual paper trading on an exchange, like on BitGet or wherever, but you could do this too. Really good risk reward ratio too. Got that in, and I locked in the profits. This is what I would have done. And now I would just let it ride. The reason I would probably just let this ride without even putting another take profit or putting maybe a lower take profit, something like down here, this high volume area, or even lower, even something like way lower, down to maybe this low or something, is because what we're going to get into right now, what I'm going to talk to you guys about right now, and which is going to be kind of the macro outlook here, which I talked about it yesterday in my previous video. This is my main kind of guess. We're ahead of schedule a little bit on this guess now. We've already come down to this area. Basically, big bearish div. This is going to confirm in a day. I think it's generally going to come down. I do think since you're getting this bearish div on the 2-day, which should confirm unless we get some crazy jump up pretty soon. I mean, stranger things have happened. Anything can happen. You guys know that. But once we get this big jump up pretty soon, I think you're going to be headed down to probably at least down to 20K within the next month. That's what I'm kind of thinking here. Also on the macro, what I think is more bearish is what we're going to see too with the 2-week. Money flow generally coming down. Your VWAP still kind of high up here, but starting to curve down. I think once you really get down to the 8, the 7 over here, I think that's when you're going to really start to see the bearishness play out and see potential to make a lower low here and bottom out, somewhere in mid to late 2023, somewhere in mid to late this year, lower than 15K. I mean, who knows? Maybe we could just form a double bottom with there. That would be nicer. But I kind of think worst case scenario around 9K. We'll talk about that if we do get that low. I don't think we're going to get that low. I hope we don't get that low, but you got to be prepared for anything in these markets. And then if we look here, VWAP coming down under weekly. Our monthly, I think for the first time, we're going to roll over, come into the red for the first time here. That's what I think. Get another red dot, and I think that's going to what's going to be bringing us down here. Probably see that red dot in the April candle, I think. And then if you're back down to 20, if you're back down to 20 by there, you see that red dot in the April candle. And then after that, you'll see, if it was like the NASDAQ after .com bubble, probably I think it was another eight candles of redness. I think you'll see at least, 4 or 5 into, well, let's see, April, 1, 2, 3, yeah, probably at least probably 4 into the summer for a potential bottom. Maybe just a little bit lower, maybe at 15, double bottom there. But if we keep going into the end of the year, maybe even into early 2024, I think that could be worst case scenario, like the latest where we're going to end up. You're going to see probably up to 8 or 10 more, red candles down. That's what I kind of think is most likely the case right now. I mean, the inflation report was bad this morning. There's still a lot of crap going on, guys. There's still a lot of stuff going on. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe we're just headed straight up, but I think that's the least likely scenario. Also, the other thing we want to look at here is going to be the 16-hour. The 16-hour. Good curvature. Look at this curvature here. And coming into the red, you can't deny. That's a pretty bearish outlook. And that's, throughout this whole bear market, really since, this is what gave us the top, guys. Look at this. Look at this. This is what gave us the top right here. And I mean, obviously, I don't think we're going to repeat this entire nightmare. That would be, Peter Schiff would have a field day if that happens. But, you could repeat something of this nature, down 30% in the next month or so, I think. Maybe not that much, but I do think it's a pretty decent trajectory down from there. Ultimately, I think that, you could kind of get away with, obviously the bears got wrecked a lot in January and February so far. Well, bears starting to do good in the last couple of days, but so far this year they've pretty much gotten wrecked. I think it's those tides are going to turn relatively soon. Now let's look at 3-hour coming into the red, 4-hour about to come into the red. Hourly, you do have a green dot here. You do have the green dot. We're getting a little jump right here. And then 15-minute, money's kind of the same. I'm not seeing enough good curvature here in the 10-minute for us to kind of come up just yet. I mean, you did get a big bounce right there. The Coinbase chart, I think, went down lower in a lot of other charts for some reason. But I do think ultimately maybe trend sideways and then kind of roll over here. I mean, based on the hourly, based on the 2-hour, I do think there could be some case for a little bit of relief here. But I do think you're going to have to kind of wait for a bullish div on the hourly. And based on all of these bearish things in the macro I told you, I don't think it's going to be that strong of a relief rally, even if we do come up a little bit higher here. I mean, some people would probably argue, head and shoulders in this lower time frame break down farther, minute, little trigger wave, but that's, that is what it is. It would be, I'm going to be really annoyed if this paper trade just brings us down to oblivion. Let's just look at the take profit. If we were to take profit at, I don't know, something crazy here, what would that return be? Okay, so 27x from the size of, so this is, I believe this is, so it's 100x, so that's going to be a $59,000 position. 100x of 590 is going to be, I think, almost $60,000 position. So $60,000 position, that would be insane, I think. No, it wouldn't be anything that crazy. It's hard to calculate on here. I know BITGET or whatever. But, I'm going to try to get more into the scalp trading a little bit to expand the horizon. I used to be more into it, got kind of away from it, but there's money to be made there. There's opportunity there, especially, with the CVD and other things too, and especially market cipher with the bearish divs on these really lower time frames here. So, yeah. And that's what I'm looking at on Bitcoin. Ultimately, I wanted to just give you a little, let's talk about Ethereum first, but I think that's even more, going to see more of a decline. I think that's going to really bleed a lot more against Bitcoin in the next month. You confirmed a blood diamond here. I think it's ultimately going to play out something of this nature. If you break down, you're back to kind of these 2021 areas. So this could bleed against Bitcoin a lot. Now I'm not saying it's going to bleed 50% against Bitcoin, but I think at least you're going to end up back at this area where you were back in July of 2022, theoretically. And I think the next month is going to be pretty rough for Ethereum. I think it's going to see somewhat of a reckoning finally. There's good fundamentals. I was talking about that with Paul Barron yesterday. There's good fundamentals, but sometimes even when there's good fundamentals, that doesn't mean people won't sell. You know what I mean? It's going to get rough, I think. I think a lot of people may have to sell. It's not that they want to sell sometimes, it's that they have to sell. I think somebody important said that, I don't remember who, but yeah. We're bouncing off of a high volume node right now. Has all the same bearish things that Bitcoin has. These RSIs coming down. Bearish div. I mean, I would consider this a bearish div here on the 2 days to confirm, on the 3-day. And if we look at some low time frames here, 4 hour coming into the red. And then, I think, came up, hit the market set for SR point. I think you're probably going to kind of roll over here. I think you're generally going to roll over. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Not entirely out of the question to come up and make a higher high and get everybody out with shorting, but I just don't even think there's enough people shorting for that. I don't know. That's my main guess right here. I wanted to talk to you guys about the S&P 500 a little bit. Here's one, kind of possibility. Look at this general pattern. I mean, this is already playing out, kind of this drop down, and that would bounce us off at 380. I think you'll see some kind of support at 380, but I think we're kind of due to repeat something of this nature or something of this nature. So, generally, I think we're going to end up by May somewhere between 320 and, maybe 340, better case scenario if you kind of map out how this one was. I think it's going to be kind of like this one minimum, and I think that's when a lot of people are going to start to admit that we're in a recession. That's when a lot of people are probably going to start to admit that we're in a recession. And I think they're going to have to by then, because I think that's when things are going to start to get pretty, higher layoffs, stuff like that. Things are going to start to get rougher. Unfortunately, that's kind of what I think is going to happen. Hopefully I'm wrong, but, that's what I think. Red dot in the weekly, I mean, throughout this whole, situation, throughout these EMAs turning gray. Red dot in the weekly turned out pretty well for all these. This one was the mildest one, but I think it's going to be more like that or more like that one. That's what I kind of think here. So that's my update in the S&P 500. NASDAQ kind of the same way. I wanted to talk about that just a little bit here too. Yeah, that's important to talk about. I mean, big golden pocket right here. I think you're going to end up there relatively soon, probably by May. Excuse me, the same thing kind of with S&P 500 split RSIs coming down. You're about to get that red dot in the weekly. Let's see how the 6-day is here. About to get that red dot. That's the same as the weekly. And the 5-day right there. Okay, same thing. I'm trying to think of the highest time frame that has maybe the red dot printing. And that's going to be the 4-day. I think it's going to turn out something like this or something like that to the lower low. I think more likely like this. That's kind of my main guess. I mean, it could be a little. I think you'll see. Yeah, actually, I take that back. I think probably more likely like that, because this is such a big pocket. I think you're going to get a jump off of around 10K, a jump off of there. But I think ultimately this coming to the green is going to just roll over. And yeah, that's kind of the way I'm looking at it right now. I think this little rally here is generally over. S&P 500, NASDAQ, Bitcoin most likely over. Again, anything could happen. Stranger things have happened. So yeah, not going to be right 100% of the time. Anyway, guys, if you like the video, please leave likes. Please subscribe to the channel. Check out the promo for BITGET. Deposit $100, get 20 back, and enter a big prize pool if you trade. And also MEXC, there are no taker fees on MEXC. Really good promo with my link as well, $9,000. So check it out. And BitGet's really good too, especially if you want to do some simulated trading, want to get used to the leverage trading like I did over here. Tested out my new strategy. It worked right here for the scalp. But yeah, now I'm ready to mess around with it some more with real money. Risk management is always important. I do have a course that teaches you risk management, trading psychology, a lot of my good strategies. A lot of people have really liked it, so check that out. All right, guys, have a good one. Goodbye.